Alright, let's give this one another hoot nanny, I guess. I have no idea what to do today. But I know for a fact I'm gonna need to eat tomorrow. Breakfast, I guess. Maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna need to eat breakfast tomorrow. So, what do? What make? What should I construct into this? What should I put into this abyssal world today? What creation of mediocrity should I put into this horrible, sad pile that is today's world? Let's see what's in these. I don't even remember. That's lemons. I forgot I had those. Yeah, I know, great framing, right? This thing's in the way. Ironically enough, you can see my face better when I do that than I can. Then I can see the camera, you know? Guess we'll leave that down for now. Yes, we got lemons. What's in this one? Aha! 2 tomatoes. Okay, we got lemons, we got tomatoes. We got a box full of potatoes. As is the tradition. We got a box with a few apples that are probably very upset. Oh, that's frozen to the bottom of the bin. As long as I don't touch those, they'll be fine. We got a handful of onions and some carrots. Is this finally cold enough to actually... Yeah, that's actually food. We got a handful of eggs, some butter, some cheese, bread, and that's about it. And here we got depression. In here, yeah, you can't see. That's good. We got pork chops, fish sticks, sliced avocado. Not sure why I have that. A friction ton of mincemeat. Just like, what is that? 3 pounds of mincemeat, approximately. Or 1.5 kilos, I guess. £2 a piece, or just about 1 kilo. Some bread, some broccoli, and 2 pre-made meals. Potato box. So what make? I got a bunch of rice, mashed potatoes, way too much pasta. That's the question. What the fuck do I make with all of this? Or any of this? It's never a question of can you make something. But it's more a question of what the fuck do you make with all this? Like, you always have those days, you know? It's getting to be end of month for me, because I get paid, like, Thursday next week, so it's getting to be end of month, you know? So let's see, I'm even out of coffee. Like, I can't even believe that shit. I can't afford to go in anymore. What do I make with what I have here? Jesus, that's a dirty-ass handprint on that wall. Anyway, you can't see that. Don't think about it. This is a very dirty handprint on this door, but don't think about that. Lemons go away. I don't need those. Period. Oh, look, a jar of beans. I need to make more. I need to jar more beans. How about we do this? How about we do this number? We'll grab ourselves this onion that I started slicing and have used a little bit of here and there for this, that, and the other. Can you let go of the cutting board, please? And I think for now, I'ma just move you... What the fuck, camera? Camera, calm down. You don't have to be on the edge of society, you know. Hello? Boop. Wow. Look at that, frames. Famosa. I have no idea what I just said. Oh, hi Mozart. I'm sorry, I don't have any more treats. Actually, I think I do. Just a moment here. Need to finish washing off this knife. Then I get the cat some treats. Yeah, you can hear him. He's going nuts down here. He's going crazy. That was me, not the cat. Okay. I think I want to make me some... No, maybe I shouldn't block the shot with a freaking bowl. Look, if all of this stopped falling right in front of my eyeball, I can actually see what I'm doing here. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just trying to chop and I'm trying to slice thin little bits out of this very soft onion. Mozart, you've already had your treats. This is why I do not give him treats every day, because he just doesn't stop demanding the treats, and it's really not good for him. They are no good for his guts, which is why he doesn't get that many. He gets the shits. So, what are we actually doing today? Well, I had an idea, which was just produce something that's, you know, end of month worthy. And in this case, I have some semi-fresh tomatoes. They are they are fresh, as in they're like 2 weeks old. Like 2 weeks old, I think. I think they're pretty much exactly 2 weeks old at this point, yeah. So they're starting to go a bit soft. Making them just a bit harder to cut than normal. But that'll be fine. If you're wondering what I'm doing, well, you are of course wondering what I'm doing. I'm making a salad actually. Fully uninitiated tomatoes work extremely well with red onions. I was playing Mass Effect Andromeda when I had this little urge. Oh no, it fell apart on me. It's all falling apart. The world, my life, the universe. No, but it's all seriousness. I need a drink. Hold on, I'll be right back. Yep, there we are. I got myself a drink. Oh, and fully uninitiated. No, videos on the internet aren't always made for kids, and they aren't always meant to be safe for kids. And to be completely clear, alcohol isn't evil. It's the people that abuse it to the point where they literally cannot stop themselves from committing criminal acts or just generally being a dick to their family. They're the evil people. This is a dumb inanimate object containing a fluid that just happens to affect people on a psychological level. It has no affiliation with anything. No deity, no gods, no creators. There's nothing this fucking garbage is associated with at all. There's no one in the universe that can influence this stuff's opinion because it doesn't have one. It's inanimate. There's no such thing as good or evil in the inanimate material world. A knife is only as evil as you make it seem. The knife itself will never be evil regardless of what you do. It's a knife. It cuts things. And that thing can be a person, or a tomato, or a scallion. And it's all up to you. It's actually the exact same thing with guns. They're literally just dumb objects. What you choose to use them for, well, that's not the fucking gun's fault now, is it? That's your fault. If you choose to be a murderous prick, well, I mean, go for it, I guess. Lord knows there's enough people on this earth. Another, like 5 or 6 going missing ain't gonna change something. I mean, a lot of people be sad, but, you know, people are sad all the time about stuff they can't control. Like the climate. We can't actually do anything directly to change the climate. We can just slightly influence it to go one way or the other, to get slightly hotter or slightly cooler. But even then, that's more of a, you know, societal mass change. You know, stuff that requires thousands upon millions of people to change their behavior. It's not something one country can do. It's not something one nation can take care of. It's not something one person can affect. It's something that systemic changes can influence. Systemic changes that ultimately adjust the way we behave, again, towards each other, and the way we handle the world around us, the way we mine out resources, the way we farm our food. Ultimately, we're never going to stop being humans. We're always going to need food, we're always going to need water, we're always going to need each other. And, well, damn. And those things are never going to change. We're always going to be what we are, and the world is always going to be the world, never really changing for us or with us or against us. The world's never going to turn on anyone, the world's never going to favor anyone, because it's a dumb rock floating through space that happened to develop life. Everything is chance, everything is bullshit, nothing you ever do is gonna matter in 1,000 years. But that doesn't mean you can't be happy. Just because everything's pointless, that doesn't mean your life is meaningless to you. Because your life means what you want it to mean. What you do with your life is up to you. Sorry about scaring you, Mozart. I scared the cat. There's nothing really in this world stopping you from being your best self. there's not necessarily going to be 1,001 people trying to help you, be a millionaire or anything, but you can make the best with what you got. And if you manage to take what you got and make the best out of that, then you'll be happier for it. I don't know how much, but you will be. That's literally the only reason I'm still around. About 3 years ago, that would have seemed an awfully tempting way to leave. 3 years ago. That's all it took. 3 years. That's all it took me to turn my entire mindset around. And ironically enough, most of those changes happened in the last year and a half. If you got issues, get yourself checked out. And if you need it, get medicated. There's no shame in it. There's no one saying you have to get medicated, but if that's the only way that it can be managed, you can manage yourself, then go for it. It might not be the solution, but it's probably a step along the way. Maybe you need the medication. Maybe you don't actually need the medication to be a better you. Maybe you just need the medication to get some contrast, to understand what the flip side of things are. Maybe you just need the contrast in life, like maybe you just need to know what you absolutely never want to end up being in order to become what you actually want to be. I don't know. But ultimately, back to it, life is just a mess. No item, object, or creature is good or evil by definition. That's not a thing. No society is truly good or evil. No culture is truly good or evil from the perspective of the universe. Then what you or I think, that's an entirely different question. But remember, the world around you, not the people in it, the world, the rock you're walking on, the environment around you, they don't give a shit. They're just vibing. And you should be too. The best way to blend into the world and just function and be happy is to simply vibe. Let things be what they are and let them fall apart if they want to. Either way, you'll be there, laughing at it the whole way through. God damn, I needed rum today. Jesus. I'm not even religious when I use that. Fun fact, this is a taco sauce jar, but it contains beans. Why is it full of beans? It's because I needed somewhere to put the beans I was boiling. Did I just boil too many beans? No, I prepped a few jars. I think I prepped 4 jars almost. No, 3. This is the largest one of them. And I am gonna have to cook this up in the coming days. Oh, good God. Good God. Let me tell you a secret. A full 8-hour work day combined with way too little sleep and a generally speaking low alcohol tolerance, it results in what you just saw. Ah, God damn it. And yeah, I'll show you how to can beans someday. Because no, you don't need canning jars, you don't need super special anything. What you need is a glass jar. What you need to can beans is a couple of glass jars, enough beans, water, salt, and that's it. Oh, and you need some way to boil the water too. sauce and a handful of beans in here. Remember, try to avoid putting your fingers into a jar that has been sealed. Try to avoid putting your fingers in there. You're probably just going to put bacteria in there, which is going to make everyone upset. Mostly the beans, but you know, maybe the government will be too. But I don't know. Guess it depends on local authorities and whatnot. Local rules. I don't know. Anyway, what we have here, right here, can my hands keep working? What we have here is beans, red onion, and tomato. Good flavor combo, not gonna lie. It's in fact a great flavor combo, but we can make it better. Here, I got regular table salt. Common packaging in Sweden. A common package for salt in Sweden. If you happen to be here and want to pick up some just fine salt. Nobody likes this stuff anymore. Just 3 hits of that. Black pepper. Ground about as fine as my self-worth. Or rather, ground up about as fine as my opinion of myself. Yeah, there is that. There's self-worth. Yeah, that's exactly right. You don't need no oil. You don't need no nothing. Just some salt, some pepper, and your veggies. And here you go. Salt, pepper, tomato, onion, beans. Of course, let me get down to your level here. The beans you choose will change the major flavor profile because the only things really bringing flavor here are the veggies. And the beans you think don't have a flavor, but really they make up the bulk of this. So, what you're going to want to do is pick a bean you actually enjoy. In this case, I got black beans and white beans mixed together here. I just realized how much of an innuendo that could be. But no, anyway, I got black beans and white beans mixed here in my little mix jar, or in my jar of mixed beans. And that was literally because I had bought black beans at one point, and I bought white beans, and I was like, I need to can these fucking things so I can actually use them, because I bought them dry. So that was just a happenstance. But I like pretty much every bean, so it doesn't really matter to me. But if you prefer kidney beans, use kidney beans for your little salad thing. If you prefer baked beans, like Heinz baked beans and tomato sauce, use those. Just drain the goddamn tomato sauce first. Now, because I'm a psychopath, I'm gonna add white curry powder to this, also known as the chef's cocaine. It's not actual cocaine though, it's MSG. Yes, that MSG. The MSG you find in all Chinese food. You know, the MSG that supposedly kills your liver, and supposedly gives you cancer, and supposedly gives your grandkids cancer, even though they're already born. And also supposedly kills God, or something. I don't fucking know. Three layers deeper, right there. Just a little bit. Really? It doesn't take much to make a passable salad. And now what do you do with this? You can't just eat that as it is. Wrong. This, right here, 2 tomatoes, about a quarter onion. 2 tomatoes, about a quarter onion. 2 small tomatoes, that is. About a quarter onion. About 2 fistfuls of beans. And yeah, I do mean fistfuls, like your fist full. In. Twice. Salt, pepper, in this case MSG, that's optional obviously. This makes a meal. This has every bit of nutrient you could need, or like you would need to sustain yourself for a good half day. Hell, if you just want to make ends meet, a full day. fuck, you could split this across 2 days if you want to. I don't recommend it, but you could. Really what you want to do is you want to like jazz this stuff up, you want to cook it. Because if you just have this combination right here, this exact thing in this bowl, this very bowl, and all you do to it is you put it in a pot, add like 3 deciliters of water, and just boil it, or rather simmer it. Let it simmer for maybe 10 minutes. You have yourself a soup. And that soup is gonna be not amazing, but it's gonna be a whole heck of a lot more nutritious than this bowl is. Which is weird, but really, we humans suck at pulling nutrients out of raw stuff. And the only thing in here that isn't raw is the beans, and they are in fact only parboiled. I have not cooked these all the way. So really what I'm gonna do with this tomorrow, for breakfast, probably, at 5 in the fucking morning, is probably fry these fucking things and toss on a pack of noodles. I mean, I buy these noodles like this, you know, dried multi-pack like this. These are Chinese quick cooking something or other. They're a Chinese noodle of some sort. I'm not a big fan of these because they split a lot. Like, they do a lot of splitting. I don't really like that. But like, they taste nice. Good texture. But yeah, so I'm not gonna put this in the fridge. Just like this, no covering or anything. Because there's a lot of crazy shit going on in this world. A lot of things, a lot of phenomenon that happen. But one thing you'll never actually experience unless you decide to, for some reason, store garlic with your tea. And I mean in your tea. Not in the same cabinet, but just in your tea. Is that the statement that don't keep certain things in anywhere near each other, they'll take flavor from each other, is a complete myth. Because things have to be pretty damn close together and more or less sealed in the same package to do this. There's only a few exceptions to this, which is tea and garlic along with bananas. Like, I shit you not that bananas will take the flavor of anything else. Huh, you wish. No, but other things will take the banana flavor by just being in contact with bananas, which is weird. But beyond that, it's more or less a myth. There's no actual, like, compounds transferring from one to the other unless you have something that can actually travel through. Now, there is an exception to this rule, and that is, of course, if you store things that are wrapped in plastic wrap right up against each other. Like, if you have a piece of cheese and you wrap that in like plastic wrap, like cling film, cellophane, doesn't matter. Just a thin layer of plastic. You just wrap it in that, or even in a plastic bag, you just put it in that. And then you put that right next to, say, something else in a plastic bag. There's a good chance the thing in the other plastic bag will now have a hint of cheesiness to its smell. Why? Because there's a lot of aromatic compounds in cheese, and many of those are very good at getting through things. They're very good at getting through plastic. They're very good at making their way through plastics. They're polymers. The molecules are small enough to just sort of sneak through. It's not that there's a bunch of pores and shit, it's just that it's not that there's a bunch of holes in your plastic, it's just the molecules are small enough to just sort of just worm their way out. So, yeah, that's a thing. But it's kind of a myth that everything will take flavor from everything, because some things just don't take flavor from anything. It's amazing. Also, if you have the opportunity to decorate your house, like install some wonderful piece of kit in your kitchen, like you're building your own dream kitchen, I don't care what fucking universe you live in, don't do soapstone. Just don't. It may be technically sanitary, but Jesus H. Christ, that surface is gonna turn to trash in 1.5 years. Jesus, the amount of work you have to go through to keep soapstone fresh and nice looking is just gross. Really, it's basically self-flagellation installing soapstone counters. It basically is. Because that shit stains worse than marble. And marble stains easy. But soapstone, that's just stain city right there. Alright, I need to wipe off this a little more. Now this cutting board, for the uninitiated, has been used for 1,001 things. But anyway, if you're gonna sell one piece of good kit in your kitchen and you want to have some nice little bit of counterware, stainless. Not this though, not this kind of bench, because this kind of stainless top is trash. This is the kind that goes. It is literally the thickness of the steel plus some paint on the other side. With only, no, it's just the thickness of the steel. There's not even paint. It's not even painted on the underside. With just like a wooden frame. It's just steel in a frame. It's just stainless steel and a wooden frame, this stuff. What you want to do is you want to lay this stuff on a nice hard surface, a nice hardwood surface, like oak, ash, or hickory if you can get it. Some sort of hardwood. Hell, you can even lay it on pine if you want to. Just make sure it's good and dry before you do. Just make sure it's good and dry before you do. Either way, you gotta lay it onto that surface and adhere it with like contact adhesive or something. Just make sure it's stuck on there. That way it'll be a nice, quiet work surface that is extremely easy to clean and is antiseptic. Fun fact about stainless steel, it is antiseptic. To a degree, of course. If you have puddles of grease, they're still gonna breed bacteria, but the surface itself, if you get all the grease off, a bacteria can't just live on stainless. The nickel in the surface makes damn sure that's not possible. Alternatively, if you want a truly antibacterial and antiseptic surface that just like fucking nukes everything, copper or brass, either. As long as there's copper involved, that's good. Or a high copper or aluminium alloy. A high copper aluminium alloy also works. I like 10% copper or more, and it'll work too. Because the copper is extremely good at killing things. It's also very good at killing you though, so keep that in mind. But I actually do want a copper countertop someday. I do really want that. That would be the dream. Copper sink, copper countertop. This thing submerged and like copper sink submerged into like an epoxy basin to give it some stability. I want that. Backing of just fuck no, not tile. That's just gross. It's just gross to have tile. Like tile like this, it's just fucking disgusting. It just gets. The grout always gets gross. I mean, I've kind of kept this decent, even though I do a lot of cooking in the grout. Right there is looking kind of sad. But yeah. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to do. I want more alcohol. If I grab the cork instead of the neck of the bottle, I can open the bottle. This is good just as it is. Jesus. That's a big. I better put that in the fridge. Just make sure I can drink it even faster. Is there anything else in this world? No. Well, there's a lot of things in this world, obviously. Is there anything else I want to do? I kind of want to cook something more involved, something more complex. I just threw together a salad right there and give you a speech. That's fucking disgusting. Okay, when it comes to making rice, most important part to remember The most important part to remember is get rice you actually like eating. For example, if you like a little bit of bite to your food, like you actually have to chew it, don't get jasmine. It doesn't have any bite. It's goo in dried form. Now, of course, you can undercook jasmine rice and give it a little bit of toothsomeness, but really it's just way too easy to overcook jasmine if you want rice that has a little, if you want like all your food to have a little bit of bite to it, like you actually have to chew it. Long grain rice is standard long grain is a great option if you just want something that is gonna be a hella stable rice that you can just put in a stew. Like you wanna put a rice into the stew just to thicken it and just, you know, give it a bit more stuff to it. Long grain's a great option. Round grain is also a good option. Like a round grain rice is also a good option because they tend to be a bit larger and tend to also just be a bit harder in general. They form a very sticky granule though, like a very sticky thing though. But then we have the halfway in between long grain and jasmine, and it's basmati. This shit is, I believe, an Indian rice? Yeah, India, Pakistan, Middle East, I guess. East? Middle East? Ah, fuck if I know. Fuck if I know my geography. Anyway. It's from a part of the world that also happens to... It's from a part of the world that, in my opinion, also happens to, like, hold some of the world's worst religions. Yeah, that's gonna get a lot of people riled up, but it's just my opinion. You're entitled to thinking completely different things than me, and I'm not gonna hunt you down for it because that's not my fucking job. I refurbish gearbox for a living. Do you think I give a shit about your opinion? Like, I don't get paid enough to give a shit. Like in general, I don't get paid enough to give a shit in general. Depending on your rice, you're going to want different amounts of liquid, like different amounts of water. But one thing that's very important is, depending on how you like your rice, is going to determine if you need to wash your rice or not. If you like your rice sticky, leave your rice unwashed. If you like your rice separated grains, wash your rice. Cold water. 4 or 5 rinses. You don't need to use a ton of water. Just barely enough that it's covering the rice. Just barely enough that it's covering the rice. And you can wash it out. And then make sure it gets a good rinse so you get all that starch out. In my case, basmati rice is fairly hard as it is. So I'm not going to bother washing it. I'm going to add equal amounts water to rice plus a little dribble. Why the little extra dribble? It prevents it from just drying out as much. Where's the lid for this thing? No, like seriously, where's the lid for my rice cooker? My rice cooker lid has disappeared. Oh. The lid for my rice cooker has disappeared into the abyss. Or it's right there, in front of me, right here, and I'm just blind. I love being intoxicated. You miss so many things. When it comes to rice cookers, you can go as fancy or as simple as you like. You can even, if you have the balls, use a pot on the stove. That requires technique, and I'm not getting into that today. Really, I advise you get something like this. A cheapo, on-off, just cook or warm rice cooker. Just get something cheap. The cheapest one you can find is usually going to be the better option for you. And fun fact, you can make crispy rice with these if you just leave them running long enough. If you just leave them on the warm setting long enough. You can get crispy rice with them. God only knows why you would want that, but if you like that, then that's how you do it. Also, a fun fact about cooking your rice, it'll cook anything else that goes in there too. Remember that salad we put out together earlier? This stuff isn't cooking yet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stir this up a little bit. It's got some salt, pepper, and MSG in there. And we're just gonna fork in a good few forkfuls of the salad into here. It's gonna add some extra moisture and it's gonna wetten up the rice a little bit. I want to stir that so it cooks evenly though. That's the most important part. Now we didn't add a shit ton of water to this, so our rice should be still somewhat firm. Because the amount of water you add is going to determine exactly how firm your rice starts out. In that case I didn't add much, I just added some. Rice? No. Also, if I'm not mistaken, you can also just stir in an egg if you really want to, but you don't have to. In this case, I think I'm also going to... Is this still edible? This stuff is good till the next ice age. What is this? Flavor booster. It's a sauce I made about 3 months now. 3 months ago now. I made that back around Christmas. That's like 6 months ago. I made that back around Christmas, and that sauce is, you need a little bit, like a few drops, and it just takes simple foods and turns them amazing. You, get over here. Look at this boy. Look at this boy. He's a good boy. Look at this cuddly little man. He's not very happy about being held like at this angle, but he is a cuddly little man. He's such an excitable little cat. I love him. He's Mozart. He's named Mozart because he sings he's got such a lovely singing voice. The irony is palpable. It is so dense you can carve it with a knife. You could pretty much eat it like flan. Oh, goodness. I lifted you up a bit quick. Mozart's like, what's going on here? It's your food. It's your food. Oh. It's good. Oh. Here you go. Alright. That's gonna take like an eternity to cook. I will probably bring you back when that's done. Alright. I just remembered that I can't just eat rice and like with anything, it doesn't matter for this. So I'm gonna crack up this pan and then slap, yes, I have a laptop here actually, so I'm just gonna grab this newspaper. Oh, fuck's sake. Get lost. And I'm just gonna do this number. There. Keyboard protected. I can easily wipe off the screen, but cleaning the keyboard's a bitch, so keyboard and mouse and like pad and everything protected. All I did was just lay some newsprint over it. This is gonna work just fine. Warm that up. Now what am I actually gonna do with this? Well, I'm thinking an egg. I cannot believe I just actually caught that egg, because I very much, for a moment there, seized up and thought, I'm gonna make a mess. But I didn't. Same night, same everything. Rice is boiling. Yeah, you good, you can. That thing is spewing out very hot steam. Or very hot vapor. It's hot. And I think I nearly burned my hand. Anyway, I digress. A few glugles of oils. I have so much sauce that I need to use up. If you're wondering what I mean with sauce, I mean these fucking things. See these? These are like pre-made sauce packets. Each one of these contains like a few bags that are 2 deciliters of sauce each. This one's unopened. This one's also unopened. And this one's opened, but you know, whatever. Okay, so we got mushroom sauce, we got cream sauce, and we got béarnaise. Béarnaise. Anyway, I'm gonna have to make a stew with those at some point. For the uninitiated, you can use those things as thickeners for a stew. And it's just kick ass. It's amazing to do that. I don't know why I don't do that more. I'm just stupid, I guess. Spatula. Oh, Mozart was there. I didn't even realize. I need to clean out your water bowl. Oh goodness, you spilled a lot, boy. Made a mess. Don't go drinking that. It's still water. It's literally waste. Don't go drinking that. Oh, you know what? I just realized I could just take this plate and dump it. Mozart has a tendency to spill a lot when he drinks. He got his water in a big bowl so he can drink very easily. He doesn't have to shove his face into anything because it doesn't like that. And I put that bowl, regular food bowl, regular dinner plate, or a regular eating plate, you know, deep dinner plate, on a regular flat dinner plate to catch all the water that he just slops over the side. Because he does that a lot. Put the pepper. The salt. Only a little bit. And then I think that that's for roasting only. I need to make a new spice mix jar. The rice is done! We're just gonna leave that to sit for a bit. Get the plate going. Fold in the edges of our egg. Alright. That one's flying. Flip that egg a bit. Jesus, I am doing this so much better than I normally do. Shut that off. I need to clean out that drawer. Those tomatoes have really broken down now. Those onions have part cooked, so they're mostly cooked. Like, so they're not quite jammy onions, like, you know, really soft. But they are cooked and they are nice and flavorful. The fork I put in here earlier. Should come in handy now. Let's see how this tastes. Should be edible. It has a weird smell to it. Because whenever you put anything that isn't just rice in a rice cooker, it pretty much immediately burns a little bit. So you have a little bit of burnt rice and burnt something smell to it. But really, the taste is great. All of the harsh flavors that you find in a salad like that one, gone. Beans, no longer slightly hard, they're soft. Onions, mild. Tomatoes, mild. Big M on that one. It's good. That's really good. It needs something though. And that something is his egg. And on top of that, we already got some salt on this, but definitely not enough. So we need a little bit of this high quality, I think that's a lot, Japanese soy sauce. In this case, if you live in Sweden, give Mrs. Chang's. It's just got more flavor to it. It's light soy sauce, it's not a dark soy sauce. It's got a ton of flavor to it, but it's not very salty. It's got a decently high sugar content, if I don't misrecall though. There's also wheat in this. There's also wheat in this soy sauce. It's got quite a lot of sugar in it. Another alternative is Healthy Boy brand. That one's available in Sweden in a lot of places, but not necessarily the only, not necessarily common. It doesn't have basically no sugar in it. It's only got 3% sugar, as a contrast to sugar being literally like the third ingredient, and it's over 12%. As in sugar being like, what is that, 1, 2, 3. It's the fourth ingredient in the list. And the next ingredient after that is wheat, and that's 12%. So yeah, sugar is greater than 12% in content in Mrs. Chang's soy sauce, which is probably why it's so fucking amazing. But yeah, just remember to take your egg and, oh, it's so gooey. That's lovely. Your egg shouldn't be runny, it should be gooey, you know? Slight bit of tackiness to it, and just mash it up and mix it in. You can, of course, stir fry. Fuck, you can go a step beyond with what you have right here, and just, you can go a step beyond what you have here, and stir fry this. I breathed in rice grains. That doesn't work. This shit the bomb. Remember, there are few things as satisfying as a simple meal that you threw together in anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour, depending on your skill level. And in my case, I spent a good chunk of that time talking philosophy. But a good meal like this is probably going to be the reason you stay alive throughout most of your life. Why? Because this took only a few ingredients to make, was made entirely from scratch, barring the soy sauce, and quite frankly, it's way too damn simple. But it works, and it tastes amazing. 80% of the flavor comes from the soy sauce. But that's okay, because soy sauce is amazing. And if you don't use soy sauce, you should. Why? Is it super healthy for you? No, it isn't. It's horrible for your health to drink a bunch of soy sauce. But then again, it's horrible for your health to drink a bunch of ketchup too. It's horrible for your health to drink a lot of anything. To consume a lot of anything is horrible for your health. Really, what you should be using why you should be using soy sauce is because it's such a universally usable ingredient. It's a condiment as well as an ingredient. You can add it to an already made dish, like I did here, or you can bake it into the production of a dish. As in, make it a part of some other component, or a sauce, or a stew. You can do so much with soy sauce, and most people don't even realize you can. Let's not even get started on walking stuff, because that is just great. Well, that was gonna be it.